we're going to have a little bit of interaction with chat as well. Here we go, guys. Thank you very much for the support. Here we go. It is time for iCast Homestory Cup replays. This is the grand finals. It is down here in the bottom left-hand side. The guy who barely brought it back against soO in the lower end. Followed that up by 3-0ing Lambo. He is Innovation. He went down 0-5 in maps to soO across 2 series and then just won 3 in a row. But this is a different creature up here. This is a man who's made it to more finals than anyone else in the world, but he's only won a few of them and never in the biggest scenarios. Actually, I believe the only time he won a grand finals was a Kesper Cup 2015. His name is soO. Never won a proper GSL. Never was I think... Was it Fantasy who beat him in Cologne or Innovate? It might have been Innovation who actually beat soO in the grand finals of Cologne. IEM 2015. IEM Cologne 2015. Which is a very fun tournament. He just loses in the finals. He kills everyone, gets to the finals and loses. Let's see if this one's any different. He's going to be going hatch pool. No gas just yet. Fascinating. Someone was asking me about this in chat. They were like, hey, yeah. So Spence Dog, a little bit of common sense. There will be some people who haven't seen it, so don't be spoiling the end. I know you didn't mean harm by it, but whoever it was that timed you out, it was Logic. Thank you, Logic. Let's leave some suspense for some of the guys who don't know the results of this tournament. Let's leave a little bit of suspense. I know the result. Most of us know the result. Maybe half of us, but not everyone's a hardcore StarCraft fan, and there's no reason for us to take away their enjoyment. Nonetheless, still no gas here, so soO's probably going to go straight for 4 queens. Might even play a Roach Ravager style. There's some decently wide ramps and different attack avenues, so big Roach Ravager kind of overwhelming styles can be good here. Meanwhile, Inno's gone for what appears to be a barracks, a gas barracks, gas first into Reaper. No SCV scout. He's only going to scout with his Reaper, so... one base Baneling bust, something like that, could definitely have killed him here, but he says, you know what, it's a huge map. You're not going to gamble on a silly 1 base all in. What if I scout ya? So he's just going to scout around the map now and check what's going on, and as this Overlord scouted the bottom right, and this Overlord is about to arrive up here, soO is going to start to realize where his opponent is as well. Very fast 3rd base goes down for soO, and straight into a 3rd queen, immediate Overlord, and double inject as well. Okay, cool. So someone was asking me, they were saying, you know what, in this final, soO played gasless, didn't get a crazy fast 3rd. So this is a fastish 3rd, but it's not like insanely fast, right? And yet, you know, they were like, why does he do that? Now, the reason is he's saying, look, I want to just get a head start on my economy. It's a big map. We're going to have a big macro game. Rather than putting down the creep tumor on the natural straight away, which people are favoring with the fast 3rd, he says, if I don't take gas, I can just drone nonstop. 2 injects immediately. All of that being spent on drones. You can see this lava in the units tab disappearing so quickly. And Innovation, I mean, he doesn't really have anything he can pressure with until these Hellions are out. There's going to be a medevac coming, so it's going to be a Hellion drop to start things off for Innovation. soO only now going for double gas. So it was a 3-minute double gas, and is going to be putting guys on immediately and trying to, of course, get in a position where he can just defend with many queens, 3 queens building at a time right now. Slow Zerglings, just building 6 slow Zerglings to stop any Hellions trying to run past. You can block your ramp, or you can put them in a bit of an arc. You kind of have like a net of slow Zerglings if they're pre-positioned. It can work very well, but a player like Innovation's going to be good at weaving his way around it. So this is a bit of a risky play from soO. If he doesn't take big damage, he ends up in a very, very nice position. And even though his creep started slightly slower, because he's got so many queens so early, it will explode very quickly across this map. Behind this, it is a Liberator follow-up straight into Stim for Innovation, and his factory swapping off the reactor and building a lot of add-ons. This is something we've seen so much from Innovation in his series against soO. Him just saying, look, let's just build a couple of Hellions, sometimes only 2, sometimes only 4, and then he swaps it off and just starts getting his barracks up very quickly. And this gives him a lot of Marines with Stim at a very good timing to begin the pressure. soO with a gap in his vision, the only gap in his vision along this edge of the map, and it's been found. Oh, you're kidding me. He finds a tiny little corner. soO's not reacting, soO's not paying attention, and that's 3 drones on the first volley, another 2 on the second. Oh, wow. Already 7 worker kills. Just pick up and get on out of there, I think. But, oh, he's actually going to try and fight them. Oh, messes up. One of his Hellions actually does not get down there. And that's going to get surrounded up in the main base. Down here in the natural, though, even more drones are going down. But, oh, one of the queens got stuck on the Spore Crawler. And the slow Zergans do manage to take it down. So 9 worker kills. The medevac escapes. Acceptable losses for soO since he's droned so hard. He's at 50 drones. If he can deflect the Liberator, which the Overlord's already spotted, so he should be fine against, he'll be fine. But, yeah, okay, soO's all over that. You gotta leave, you know. Oh, he's gonna lose the lib. He's gonna lose the lib, I think. Ooh, yep, it just goes down. Pop goes the Liberator, and that's a great start for soO. Now, a big part of this is, remember, guys, the creep spread was not slowed. As long as soO here says, hey, look, there's no pressure anymore, just spread creep and drone, he should be in a really good spot. What fascinates me, though, is the fact that there aren't creep tumors up here, so this is a potential push path, and also if he goes for this 4th, he doesn't really have creep down here. So there's still available push paths for innovation. Of course, the problem for innovation is the fact that it takes about 16 years to walk across this map. So as a Terran player playing Bio, where often you want to keep the pressure on, you want to be in the Zerg's face, is kind of shit. I think that's the technical wording we can give for the... You just don't want to play cross-map versus Zerg. Innovations... I mean, usually, once it gets to 5 base versus 5 base, there's something to be said for the fact that it's hard for the Zerg to defend all the far expansions. Drops can be used very well. But even then, it's like, well, how do you get your 5th base as a Terran? Look how far away these potential 5th base locations are. It's so hard to defend a 5th base on this map. And at this level of play, I think the Zergs are going to be pretty good at slapping down drops. We've even got a Spire on the way. soO, going to play either Mutas or Corruptors. I think Mutas is pretty good, even though it's not a very fast Spire. There's such a nice economy. And you know what's interesting? There's no 4th base for soO just yet. Going into a macro hatch, droning up to 71 workers, but just being very conservative with the 4th base timing. Does go for a bit of engage there. Gatches a bunch of the Marines, and is just going to respread this creep. It's unimpeded so far for the most part. You know, the 4th base finally goes down. We see Inno trying to rotate. He wants to unload, come in, and slow down this creep on this area. He's decided that's his push path. But if soO stays on top of his creep spread, it's going to just spread down this right-hand side like crazy. Still got to be a little bit critical of this area not being covered in creep just yet. But so far, so good. We do have combat shields, 1-1 finishing up for innovation as well. 2-2 starts the second, literally the second it finishes. And here we go. Drop comes in, damages the hatch, immediately has to pick up. Bane speed, about to finish. 8 Mutalisks on the way, 2-2 starting, just mere seconds behind innovations. And there we go. Innovation has been a huge fan of that ship plating upgrade. It helps Thors, it helps, it does vehicles and ships. So medevacs, Widow Mines, Thors, tanks, all of these units benefit from this upgrade, and he actually rushes +2 with this as well. Innovation loves it. He loves it. He's not in a great position in this game, I don't think, but he's going to go 4th CC, then his 6th, 7th, 8th barracks. He loves to add tech labs and get out just mass Marauder Marine medevac, and then Vikings if Broodlords come out. He just scanned the main, and he saw that it was lair only, so he knows he's up against lair tech, but uh-oh. That's going to cause you some problems. That should be a dead drop. He might try and unload and focus the Mutas. I think that's his only real chance here. Yeah, he's going to try and drop on both the high ground and the low ground. Focus fires on a Mutalisk, but is he going to get one? Gets 1 Mutalisk. Not a great trade. On the other side, this drop looks like it's just going to try to run home. He's like, if I stay there any longer, the Mutas will kill me. And that's absolute map control for soO. soO is a mid-game beast. soO is one of the sloppier players that's champion caliber when it comes to late game, but it doesn't matter because he almost always just finds a way to get 30-40 supply ahead before the 10-minute mark, and usually his opponent's like, well, you're covering the map in creep, you've got a giant economy, I need to push, and then he just like swarms and eats up their army. soO makes his opponents look bad regularly, even when they're the best players in the world. soO is just this guy who is so committed to the mid game every game. If he gets to the right engagement, if you overstep at all, if you're not perfectly set up, he'll just jump on you. And with the start that he had this game, of course, the greed off that gasless opening, only taking a little bit of drone losses, I think soO's in a great position now. soO is hunting. He is hunting, but he can't actually find that drop. He's like, oh, it must have turned around, but it actually slipped down the edge of the map. And Marine branching out there. Creep has hit the watchtower. Jeez, it takes so long to get here. Look at this. We've got a bit of a creep penis in the middle of the map. Lol. It's spreading everywhere though. This gets to the point where it's unstoppable. And yeah, Ino's just kind of camping. So he's got a few Thors, +3 weapons, +2 ship plating. As I said, that makes the Thors, by the way, like impenetrable to Mutalisks. Zerglings, obviously, with their attack upgrades, are going to be okay. But if you actually get to +3 armor Thors, it just cancels the +3 melee of the Zerg. And even with Adrenal, Zerglings don't shred them. Whereas if you end up with +0 Thors, they get surrounded by Zerglings, it dies so fast to +2 or +3 Zerglings. And this is one of those little interactions I never thought about until I actually watched Innovation just rushing this armor upgrade. And I think that's just such a cool little thing, which I think against Mutaplay, I'm going to start doing. I don't know if I care for it against Hydraling Bane. It still helps your Medivacs and tanks survive against Hydras, right? So, yeah, maybe it's worth. Maybe it's... If you're a macro beast, it's probably worth fitting in there if you're going to be playing long bios EVTs. Adrenal's on the way, 3-3's on the way. soO's just sitting at 80 work as his max and is like, come fight me, please. I would like to kill your army. Innovation is going for Ghosts. So he's going to transition. He didn't do this on Catalyst against Solar, but he is going to do it here. He's up at 76 workers as well, and he's adding command centers, which are going to be orbitals. So he's preparing for the super late game. It's a good way to play, dude. Ventures out and just takes off the head of the creep there. Drop over here. Ooh, a bit slow to react to the fact that he's dropped in there. Ino is still not paying attention. He's got another drop up here, which he's being very patient with, by the way. And these Marines are here. Do you want to do an arc on with me versus 0, says Davril. That's an odd question. Is Davril David? I can't remember. Oh. Sorry, don't play Archon. Trying to remember who Davril is. Guys, if you're watching this stream, please don't message me in game. I try not to use that ever. Just because it just is something where 90% of the time I don't even see the message. Like if I'm playing at the moment, I wouldn't even see that message. Ooh, this hatchery took a lot of damage. Does get out of there. It's okay, Davril. Yeah, most of the time, I get really annoyed because I come back sometimes and I look at I finish streaming and I actually notice there's like 6 messages from different people and I'm like, oh no. I come back and I'm like, the fuck? 6 different people messaged me random things. So sometimes they're like legit questions or like there's things about coaching or other things. I'm like, oh, please email me or tweet at me or use Discord. Those are my my avenues of communication that actually get checked regularly, or at least reasonably regularly. So guys, soO is got 5k minerals, 2k gas. This is the point where I guess the unit's loss tab becomes important. Innovation's been less efficient so far. I think we've got to be respreading these creep. There's a few gaps in the creep, but yeah, soO's just kind of running back and forwards. He's like, can you please just step out and fight me, man? I mean, he's only got 32 Banes. I mean, that's actually not too bad. If you make like 100 Banes in this situation, there's actually just not that many Marines. And suddenly it's a way to take... Even if you clear their army better by having more Banes, it becomes so grossly cost inefficient that it kind of sucks for you. And oh my god, he's just massing orbitals. So what Ino is going to do is he's going to start trading out SCVs and using mules instead, get a bigger army supply. And then whenever he actually lands a base and secures it, he's just going to mule the minerals almost instantly. It's actually going to be pretty obscene. He's got +3 ship plating on the way. Thor drop going to come forward. And he's like, yeah, you actually can't deal with a double Thor drop with this army. Not very well anyway. Oh no, he screws up the pickup. Ino! Oh no! Oh, where's his army? Oh no! Ino! An uncharacteristic screw up from our blue Terran player. That was sloppy as all hell. I mean, I get that Ino is feeling a little bit right now. He's getting advanced ballistics. That's the Liberator range upgrade. He's like adding more Marauders and Libs, but like soO's just like, lol. I'm just gonna keep doing this, man. I'm happy. I'm happy, dude. I'm gonna go Broodlords probably. We've got +3 flyer attacks on the way. We've got a second Spire. Corruptors coming in. Just the remax potential for soO is insane. Jellyfish is gonna come in. The super late game. You know what I'm talking about, J-Rod. You know what I'm talking about. Accidental, terrible puns based on the players' names. Right. People in chat talking about where you get to GM. I would say 5400 on NA is where you're like safely, I think you can call yourself GM, somewhere around there. 5500 is 100% like well into GM. Ooh. Alright. So I guess we just watch these players dance for a while. Who's going to fuck up first and take a really bad engage? If Innovation does it, he just loses the game. If soO does it, he gets about 7 more tries. Honestly, he does have to build up more of a gas bank. I said soO's a bit sloppy in late game, but we're not there. We're not... oh, he's going to come in. He's going to take out these libs and roll through this this right-hand side. Yeah, this trade is good. Any trade that's not terrible for soO is good. But a few snipes come in for the punish. Ultralisk goes down. Queen goes down as well. He's got these units trying to deny this expansion on the left-hand side. This is what I was talking about, where it's so hard to take the 5th. You can see Inno is just spreading turrets. He's going to be building a double planetary here, I think, to help stop counterattacks, which is a very good choice. Building armor's almost done now as well. That's going to make those turrets a lot harder to kill. High-sex auto-tracking is already done, which gives the turrets range. soO's coming in, though, and these planetaries haven't morphed. That's a big oversight from Inno. This could cost him the game. Just forgot to make these planetaries. Ultra Bane rolling in, and it's dangerous if soO goes too deep because his army will split up. And I mean, he can kill SCVs, but with so many orbitals down, I don't know if that's going to matter too much. But he's just looking for trades. Oh, Liberator's actually got a nice volley on the Mutas, but then they do try to siege up. The Ghosts and Marines trying to flood back. Where are the siege tanks? He's got to pull back to the tanks, and he does. And the Banelings do find some targets, but the Ghosts get some good snipes. The Ultras disappear. The rest of the Ghosts cloak. I think that was a pretty decent trade for soO. You can see soO's still ahead in the units lost tab, and I mean, that's incredible for soO. You've got to shut down the movement as Innovation. I kind of feel almost like planetaries here would be great. He's got to like just lock everything down, right? He's trying to get a planetary up here. This is what I was talking about before, where if he secures a base for about 6 seconds, he's going to mine it out. Yes, that's correct. That's 17 mules. Dropped it once. Watch his income. Watch his income, guys. Another return of mules goes in, and it's going to cross 5k, I think. Will it cross 5k? Oh, maybe not. Okay, 4.5. It's like 4.3 to 4.7k minerals a minute. So he's going to mine that base out in a few minutes if he keeps that up. Pretty friggin' sick. soO's just roaming around the map like, what can I do? What can I do? I've got Ultra Corruptor, Bane. I've still got Mutas in here. Units aren't sieged. That's all soO needs. He just uses the movement, finds the army unsieged, and this is where he finds the trades. All the Liberators disappear. I think the Ghosts will barely be able to hang on, but he's losing all of his valuable units, and that's pretty much game, I believe. soO here with one of the easiest wins of his life. He's just like, yeah, I'm pretty happy to start off this series this way. Remember, guys, by the way, sorry, soO came from the upper bracket, so he starts with a 1-0 lead in the grand finals. So he's already up 1-0. He only needs to win 3 maps to win the whole thing. Innovation's out of gas. He's out of money. He's going to try and rebuild Libs, Marines, Marauders, Ghosts. Not investing in siege tanks anymore. I think he's like, screw it. My siege tanks just aren't in position at the right time. They're not working. Broodlords are coming in for soO. Now, Broodlords are an interesting unit because they can just wreck your opponent. But if you misposition or mismicro, they can all just die. Looks like a ton of Zerglings coming out here as well. Obviously going to have some Banelings ready to roll into the Ghosts, interrupt their snipes. That could be really nice. And, yeah. Chicken Hawk says, do you play any other games these days? Oh, dude, I'm almost finished. I'm going to finish this afternoon when my stream's done. My XCOM... Actually, maybe I'll just keep stream... No, I got to go exercise. I skipped exercise yesterday because I streamed 10 hours. And then it was like... I was lazy. I'm like, what's my excuse? I was like, oh, yeah, I was lazy. That was it. Because I was tired because I streamed 10 hours. So I'm going to go exercise, and then I'm going to finish my XCOM 2 War of the Chosen run. Other than that, playing a little bit of PUBG. Played some of that the other day. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow, some nice snipes. But most of the Broodlords survived on red hit points, and all the Ghosts died. The Broodlords are still alive. You need 2 snipes to kill them. Just getting them down to red hit points does not stop them. And here comes the Baneling train. The Broodlords back off over there. They pull back. Banelings come in. They hit the SCVs. The planetary goes down. That is the only fresh base here of Inno. Inno's hanging on like a champ, though. He's trying to clem this one out. So it's not clean it out. It's clem it out. It's where you win a game where you have no business winning. I honestly feel like at this point, soO, you've just killed a base. Yeah, he's going to make another, maybe try to hit this area one more time. But at that point, go back to what's been giving you the efficiency this game, which is rotate. Rotate down, clear this planetary, hit the reinforce line. This is such an immobile Terran force. Ghosts, libs. These units need to kind of siege up. They're slow. They're a bit awkward. If this attack doesn't finish off in innovation, then I want to see soO rotate around and use the movement, use the mobility of the Ultra Baneling. You know, that's where its strength lies. You catch a Terran unsieged, it's a great composition. You headbutt into the defensive position, though, and that would be a terrible trade. Now, not repairing this command center, that's, I think, a weird choice by, you know, he just is trying to mine as many minerals as he can, but he's got to get something repairing that base. At the same time, Ultras and Banes starting to rotate. They're looking for an angle. I like it. Ooh, snipes a few Broodlords. The Broodlord's trying to do some stutter step. Let's check soO's control group layout. Main army on 1, Broodlords on 2, Infestors on 3. So these Infestors are ready. If the Ghosts come forward and he lands Fungals on them, the Ghosts can't retreat, and if he keeps chain Fungling, they can't snipe. Nice catch there. Is going to peel off some of these units. And these Broodlords are going to have to back off now, though. That's a lot of bio. There's not many medevacs healing them. Yeah, nice Fungal. Right in the middle of the army. Fungal growth all over the Terran. And the units are choked up around this piece of terrain, but there's a lot of Marines and Marauders. I don't know. Is he going to be able to get it? The Transfuser's trying to land. The Snipes are landing at the same time. The Ultra Bane is rotating back up here. If it gets here, it will crush this bio army. But most of the Broodlords have already gone down. Innovation shows a very impressive fight there. And remember, guys, that unit's lost tab, I keep bringing it up since I know I'm blocking it. It's hiding behind me right now, behind my chair. That's why we're going to keep showing it. Innovation just made up ground of about 3,000 resources lost there. He's getting closer and closer. If he keeps taking fights like that, he might get back in it. Look at how freaking quickly he mined out this base, though. He is going through resources like crazy. soO keeps expanding to fresh bases. He's got solid income right now. I think he pulled all his drones off this base because he expects to lose it. But once again, please rotate soO. You're starting to lose efficiency by just attacking into Ghosts head-on with Broodlords. You know, with only a few Infestors out, he's only using 2 or 3 at a time. He doesn't have enough fungal energy to really keep on stopping the snipe on those Ghosts. This is what he needs to do. Come down with the Ultra Bane, use the mobility, and I do like that I think he's going to poke the top at the same time, siege down those turrets with the Broodlords. Here we go. The Ghosts are on the way. The Libs are on the way as well, I do believe. But he's going to rotate back up his Innovation. The Broodlords, though, they're going to start edging their way forwards. But look at this. He's got to get rid of these expansions. Innovation's going to take a few more bases. And if he gets a minute or 2 on those, suddenly he'll have gas to spare. Suddenly he'll have tons of minerals to spare. And the Broodlords are going to come forward. But they've got to be so careful. They're so unsupported right now. This is very dangerous from soO. It's an impressive Broodlord count, though. That is 12 Broodlords. There's only 8 Ghosts on the ground. So actually, maybe the Ghost count is just too low. And only now are Vikings being added in. The low Corruptor count of soO not being punished at all. The Ultra Bane joins up with the main army. And oh my god, the Marauders trying to get back. They need to get behind the Planetary. More Liberators are coming forward. But the Corruptor's taking advantage of the retreat of the ground support. The Broodlords, once again, all in red life. They keep tanking a snipe each, but they keep not actually dying. And soO, he's on the warpath. Forces the lift on that one. Doesn't know about the Planetary in the top left. But the Broodlords are going to kill this base. I mean, if soO manages to just take one more clearance of the army, Inno's gone already. Inno lost a ton of valuable units there. His Ghost count way down at just 2. His Vikings are out now. He's got 4 Vikings, but 9 Corruptors are enough to deal with that. You kind of wanted to have those Vikings out a little bit earlier in that fight. Try to bait the Corruptors forward. You snipe those down, and then the Broodlords are on a timer. But he wasn't able to land it, and now we see a big rotation from soO, who says, let's go down and protect my very valuable economy in the bottom right. Let's make sure this expansion doesn't go down. Inno taking advantage of this. No, not quite. Does not manage to get that up. A few snipes do go down. The Marine Marauder pushing forward. The Corruptors come out. The Vikings there, stutter stepping very well, pulling back to safety. This base is still mining well in the very top left-hand side. Innovation scanning frantically, trying to be in position. The Broodlords have arrived. The Infestors have arrived. I don't think this is enough units. The rocks are down. Inno can't get out of there. He's just going to have to sprint to the left-hand side, lose a few Marauders on the way out, but he is going to save most of the army for now. There's a command center in the open, but it cannot land. And this is just such a hard position for Innovation. He's down to 40 workers, though. So if he can max out, he does have a bigger army supply. It's just that so much of it is tied up in these very low-value Marine Marauder units. And this is the point where you can't help but wish Innovation had found a way to split off a few dropships and run around sniping bases, creating some chaos. Because soO has swapped into what is mostly a very immobile army. The Ultras and the Banes, it's what? Actually, there's still 6 Ultras out. Jeez, that's a few more than I thought there was. And a decent Ling Bane count. And that's going to give him the mobility to try and punish this. But the Zerglings on their own go in ahead of the army. They're not quite ready to engage that. The Broodlords are way out of position. And those Broodlords, I mean, they're not that effective. I feel like the Ultra Bane just needs to be counterattacking, crash into the production. Accept that you're going to lose this base. Don't fight innovation unless you can land the sickest burrow fungal flank of all time. Holy shit, soO. You just made me so moist. You sexy, sexy boy. I did not know you had it in you. I was criticizing your late game, saying it was a bit sloppy, but hot damn, that was a good engage from soO. Innovation impressively holds the ramp with the Viking land. The Marauders, of course, being so good against Ultras in this current patch. And do manage to hold on to that good position. But soO not pulling his drones, not giving up the base. And this is where it's questionable. soO is just so adamant about trying to defend this area. I guess he's going to bleed out some valuable air units, but he's paying Corruptors for it. It's not cheap. Still burrowed Infestors here. They've got more fungal ready. The Broodlords have arrived. And that's it. Innovation in full retreat. And he's just got so little to work with. He's dry on the money. He's trying to build more Marines and Vikings, but he just can't do it. He turns around to fight. He says, okay, here we go. But infested Terrans land behind the Liberators. And those Liberators are going to go down so fast to those infested Terrans. There we go. They try to unsiege and get out of there. But that's it. That planetary falls. The Reinforced not able to hang on to this last bastion of economy. He scans the bottom right. He says, okay, yeah, you've got some pretty healthy drones. This is not great for me. GG. Well played. soO takes an impressive game 1. Remember, guys, soO starts off with a 1-0 lead because he came from the upper bracket. So the way it works is if you come from the upper bracket, you basically haven't lost a series all tournament long, at least in the bracket stage. Whereas Innovation lost a series earlier. He got wrecked by soO 3-0, got knocked to the lower bracket, had to fight his way through there. So to reward soO for basically having a flawless tournament run up to this point, he starts off with that 1-0 lead, takes it immediately to a 2-0 lead, and now things get a little bit messy. Here we go, guys. Up here in the top left-hand side of the map, the Zerg player in the red. He is soO. And down here in the bottom left-hand side, in the blue, the Terran player. It is O Gaming's Innovation. Now, we did just cast a series recently. It was Innovation's comeback against soO, where we saw that push here. And it was insane, because I talked about how, as a Zerg, if you don't play Roach Ravager, there is nothing more important on this map than taking these rocks down. Because if they siege tanks here, and they put like a tank there, you actually can't break down the ramp. There's like a single space which Marines can go up. Lings just cannot get down there. And soO ignored it, did not clean it out, had multiple chances throughout the game to do it, and Innovation just kept abusing that spot, and soO never once cleared it up. And I was very critical of soO for that. soO obviously wasn't happy about it, but it's hard for players because it's a new map, and the players only get to play this sort of map usually in a best of 5 or a best of 7, where they only have 1 veto. A lot of the time you have a best of 3 series, so you got to choose 3 maps, and you both veto out the weird maps like Redshift. But here in a best of 7, it's like, nope, we're playing this map 100%, and Innovation is going to choose it. I think he'll just expand to the front, do a Hellion Banshee opening, take a third here, or a 2-1-1. It's Hellion Banshee or a 2-1-1, and you fall into a third base on the gold behind it while just keeping up the pressure. And you're really trying to abuse the back area, just kind of, you know, keep your opponent on the back foot. And if you get to mine from your gold, obviously these exposed mineral patches, without it being abused, you end up in a very nice position. But just going to expand to the front for the natural, which is the wise and safe decision. Doing the same build over and over might help you develop timings, but it won't help you learn much else. So there's a whole discussion going on in chat, and I'm only going to weigh in on that one comment, so obviously it's probably out of context. I'm not criticizing you, Prometheus. It comes down to how you play a build. A build should be flexible, and this is something I always talk about because I think not enough people think of builds as being very static things. You just do the same thing every game. But a build should have dozens and dozens of reactions and variations and adjustments based on what's happening in the game.
My
So grinding out a reactive macro build. This is especially not cheesy builds, but especially macro builds. Though there should be adjustment even with cheesy builds and timing attacks. As long as you're looking to refine those reactions and look for the tells and say, okay, it doesn't work in this situation, how can I adjust it? You're actually using that one core build or style, whatever you want to call it, but we normally just refer to it as a build. You're using that one core style and you're getting so good at it, you're learning all the different branches that you actually are learning a lot of things. So you've got to keep in mind, it all comes down to your mindset when you're learning and always looking to see where you can adjust in the game. So a lot of people, I think, have a very kind of dichotomous view of either you freestyle and you adjust and you adapt and you learn things and you really like learn how to react to the game and you play, or you do builds and you just copy a list and you never react. So it's somewhere in between, right? Somewhere in between is like the sweet spot of learning. And sometimes you just follow a cheesy build order. You don't adapt at all because it's a very simple game plan. And it can be a nice way to just get some simple wins or, you know, just work on refinement of micro or something. But for the most part, you want to try and find that sweet spot somewhere in between. Gabakud, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub, my friend. Appreciate that. Prometheus says, I was talking mostly about people who were just getting really good at one or two cheesy builds. Totally agree, man. Totally agree. If someone's just doing a cheesy build every game over and over again or something, that's all they do, especially if it's like super all in, it's like, well, yeah, you're going to have a limited learning because there's not as many reactions that you can do within a cheesy build because you're investing in a lot of army or a lot of tech, and that can't be transformed into another lead or another advantage as easily or as flexibly as economy, whereas economy is like the one thing in StarCraft you can turn into anything, right? You get enough minerals, you turn that into whatever the fuck you want. You turn that into literally anything. Anyway, guys, it is a 2-1-1. It's going to be a very fast timing. Going to hit at 5 minutes. Now, his job here is to clean up this creep, but what did we see this time, guys? The rocks went down. 7 roaches are on the way. soO learnt from that Solar series, and he's well prepared. So, like I said, roaches and ravagers aren't going to give a crap, and if you got the rocks down, hell, even Lingbane would be fine. Ling's coming up, Queen's coming up. There's only 2 roaches here. Most of the roaches actually rallied out of the 3rd base, I believe, or actually they're still in the eggs. They're about to pop out at the natural for the most part, but it looks like he's got enough units here. So, even though a lot of the Zerglings went down. Now, he's still building roaches. Okay, there we go. I was like, if he keeps building roaches, he's just going to do a roach speed Ravager Zergling all in? Very surprising attack to do, but it looks like I think he wants to get dominance over this area while defending any drops with roaches, and that'll allow him to deny this gold. And as a Terran, if you have to lift that, you can't float it there. You have to float it to here, and that's kind of an exposed open area in front of that expansion. It's not the ideal one. You'd much rather take this as a normal third if you're skipping on the gold. So I think we can see soO's game plan is like, yep, just play a very conservative opening. Roaches keep me safe versus everything. And then I'm just going to get double upgrades and I'm going to control the map, and you're going to like lose a ton of mining because by the time you start mining here healthily, guess what? I'm going to have roaches over there. He sees it. He's immediately going to split some roaches in that direction, 100%. Even if it's just 1 or 2 roaches over there, it's going to force drops or siege tanks or something like that to defend that base. So, looking good. Another drop does load up here for Inno. Inno's doing a good job with these Marines creating threat right now. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. 1-1 almost finished for innovation. So that's a very powerful upgrade advantage. And he's got the armory already about halfway done. So he's going to be able to start 2-2 very fast. The thing is, as innovation, against Roach Ravager, that's a composition which is very good in small numbers. Very good in small to medium engagements. And, oh, actually, innovation just picks a fight there. That was a very ballsy engagement. I think he's just trying to create threat here so the other drop can get in. Other drop does come in. Scans is going to stim forward. It's a double drop as well. It's not even a single. Oh, wow. That's why innovation's going so hard on this. Goes in there. He's focus firing the roaches down. You can see he's shift clicking them, but he has to pick up and leave. This drop has to leave as well. Oh, soO with the interception. Inno, you should have just boosted to the right. No, he's going to keep going. He's going hard. He says go hard or go home. That's what my mama always taught me. Because apparently you get taught StarCraft. But actually, to be honest, I reckon probably half of the pro gamers in the current generation did learn StarCraft from their parents. How long have we had StarCraft out in Korea now? 20 years? Probably about 18 since the esports scene began. And it turns out innovation finally finds what he was looking for here. GG's, man. Not really. It's only 4 drones. It's not the end of the world. But this is just such good wily play from Inno, finding the hole. I don't think it's enough. His 2-2 is delayed, so it's not that far ahead now. He's only got 1 factory building right now, and I really wonder what the play is. Do you try to get control of this area with tanks and move out? Do you siege tanks here? How do you do this as Inno? Or do you just counterattack and try to stop soO from denying? Because this is that point I was talking about. soO's defended everything, and soO's like, yeah, get fucked. How's your mining on your 3rd base gone? And he can just leave a single roach there. Like, Inno just needs to move that base now, and I think he's just going to move it here. He's trying to counter drop to keep on pressure, but this is where it gets really awkward. As a Terran at this point, if your 3rd's fully mining, especially these gases, are so important against Roach Ravager, because you want to fuel the 2nd factory, dude. Yeah. This is interesting. But at the same time, if he does just turtle, what's the transition for soO? There's no Hydroden. There's no infestation. His 4th base is on the way, but like, you don't really want to go to a super high drone count with Roach Ravager unless you can find very nice trades. Which is very unlikely against Innovation, who understands that Roach Ravager is an early to mid-game strength comp. He knows he's just got to siege up, tighten up his defense, and just play the safest possible style he can. And I think, yeah, soO preempts this. He's like, look, I've forced the lift. I've made your game plan a bit awkward. Switch it up. Infestation's on the way. Baneling Nest. I think after +2 range, he's going to swap into the melee upgrades. Not going to go +3 range. He's just still going to have a fast +3 Kara. And I think we'll just see a swap into probably Ultra Broodlord. And maybe even, yeah, I think we'll see a Spire and a Hive. So Infestation Pit finishes. Hive, and where's the Spire? Where's the Spire? Show me your Spire. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't just go Hive for Ultras and Adrenal. Come on, mate. No one wants to do that, especially without melee upgrades. He's looking for the Biles. Is Inno watching? Yes. Innovation too good to let those Biles hit him. Once again, soO is just looking dominant. soO makes players look bad. This is what I always say about soO. Like, he's just so good at controlling the early and middle stages. When soO wins, his opponents look so shit at the game. Like obviously, Inno doesn't look terrible here, but he's just got no control whatsoever. Like, soO's just like, no. Like, yeah, you can't even move out on the map. Like, Inno's finally moving out, basically for the first time this series, but his 2-2 to 1-1 upgrade advantage is about to disappear. Ooh, soO's setting up a roach flank. Now, what do we got? soO actually just droned a bit. soO's going to try to engage this. Oh my god, Innovation wasn't watching his army. He eats terrible corrosive biles, but at the same time, this was only a small portion of soO's force. So soO standing and fighting there is kind of crazy, but I guess Innovation was microing a drop on the right or something like that. Roaches are going to run in the 3rd at the same time. soO's got the money to spare. He's going to start massacring workers. The bio comes up here. soO's like, ow, ow, ow. These roaches will get cleared, but the SCVs are going down. Ooh, that's a good amount of damage. soO finds a hole, finds an opportunity to trade off some of these roaches, and that's what he's been wanting. Ooh, nice. Liberator comes in there. Did the Liberator on the right-hand side go down? I'm not sure. There it is. Gets a bunch of kills there as well. Sorry, guys. Really hard to see units on the edge of the map. It's like super hard. When they're right on the edge of the mini-map, I'm like, ugh, I'm blind. I can't see that shit. How do you get an APM bar in game, says Rob Robham. Use your console augment. Go into your collections tab in game and click on augments. It's the Brood War consoles are the ones that have the APM tabs. I think they were given to everyone as part of the 20-year StarCraft celebration. I think everyone that plays StarCraft got it. Not 100% sure. Ravagerling Baneling, guys. Ravagerling Bane's going to come in. It's a big spread for Inno. Got a big spready going, as Aussie Man would say. Marines and Marauders. Just going to kind of back off for now. Pretty decent creep spread. But yeah, it's a bit of an awkward army, you know? It's like... It's just, what do we got? 11 siege tanks versus a mostly Ravager Roach army. The Vipers are crucial, but yeah, Innovation's very scared of getting caught unsieged. He's been traumatized a little bit in these games, and he's going to come and take a bit of a nice trade over here. And the siege tank's killing a lot of lings as they kind of wrap around. Ravagers denying the 4th base. You got to stop taking this expansion Innovation. It's such a waste of money, dude. It's such a trap. Someone as good and fast as soO is always going to deny that mineral line. These siege tanks starting to get wrapped around now a little bit. Ooh, but there we go. Look at that flank. It's so small and so clumped and off creep. Ow, soO gets punished. Oh no! Oh no! Loses the command center. I told you it's a trap. But otherwise, is doing so well this game. He's up a couple thousand in the units lost. He's taking good trades. Uh-oh, siege tanks caught, unsiege, but so much bio, and there's a lot more tanks back where that came from. Beautiful splits there. He actually stood his ground at a moment where most Terrans would have just pulled back, and he realized he could gun down almost all the banelings before they connected. He's going to move forward now. He's, of course, very wary of these soft Marines getting overwhelmed. But yeah, Roach Ravager into Lingbane is always an awkward trade. He's got, what, one melee upgrade. He's trying to get Ultras out now. But I really do feel like getting out a small pack of Broodlords had to be the logical step with how he played the game. He took so long to start Vipers as well from when his Hive was done. Vipers would have been amazing there. But even then, it's like you've only got so many Abducts or Blinding Clouds, and against the siege tank spread that Innovation had, I don't think it was the right call. Don't get me wrong, guys. soO still has one more chance here. He's got a very Zergling-heavy army, which is what he needs against this. Actually, it's not that many. It's Ultra Ravager Bane. He kind of comes in from an awkward angle around the terrain. He is going to be starting to overwhelm, but Marauders, dude, Marauders don't care about Ultralisks too much in this patch. I think Innovation's going to end up with a slightly better trade here. Does get his tank count reset, and actually, is he even going to kill this last Ultra? Let's look at the units lost. Yeah, a few thousand resources more in Inno's favor. Double drop snipes the 5th. The 4th is still dead, remember? It's trying to rebuild, but Innovation in this economical situation, it's a great spot. There's no way to shut down these drops. He's just going to have to try to get underneath them, of course. That Ultra goes down, and then the soft, fragile Ravagers find themselves exposed, but not quite enough Marauders to capitalize on it. This drop here being really frustrating. Innovation just using his multitasking. He's got a 4th up down there. Sorry, this is the 4th, and is finally saturating that as well. And just keeps trading. Units lost tab just goes further and further in his favor. soO can't replenish this time around. This base is half mined out. That base finally gets back up. This base continuing to be denied. Not just this, he's losing all of his queens. Check it out, guys. Only 2 queens remaining. Those are the last 2 queens. If they fall, there's nothing that shoots up except maybe Parasitic Bomb. And he's going to do it. He drops a Parasitic Bomb. But Innovation's still going to even save a few units there. Okay, good job, Inno. He's made a Ghost transition as well. I love it. I feel like soO was in such a good position, but swapping into Ravager Bane, I think was not the right way to spend the gas. I think, yeah, faster Vipers, more Vipers, getting faster Broodlords, or maybe even just throwing away more of the Roaches and Ravagers on counterattacks and refusing to fight such a slow calculated push front on. I don't think engaging into such a huge tank spread pre-Broodlord, pre-Viper was ever going to be a good idea. But soO kind of got baited into it. Innovation makes it work. He just sniped an egg. Who snipes an egg, honestly? Who throws a hat? Who snipes an egg? Apparently Innovation does. GG, well played. Brings it back. We get a point on the board for Innovation. That's good to see. I'd like to see a game, though, where Innovation is able to do something through the early to mid game. How do you guys feel about it? I feel like soO has been dominating him. Even though Innovation kind of came back in that game, soO was in a very comfortable position. Yes, it's Roach Ravager, so it's inflated supply. I'm not saying it was like, oh, this is the easiest win ever or anything like that. But it is something where I think he definitely, could have made the correct transition. Probably thought Innovation was going to push him a bit earlier after losing the mining on the gold base. And couldn't quite make it work. If there's one thing that counters Banelings and Roaches really well, it's an incredibly high siege tank count, and that is exactly what he got into there. Any questions in chat, please try to shout them out towards the start of the game, as much if I miss them, and I'll always try to get to those. We're just trying to do some kind of analytical casts and stuff. Okay, so this Powerade Floyd guy keeps spamming, right? And then just keeps getting timed out. Right? Is it just me, or I keep scrolling up and seeing this guy's stuff? So mods, can you give me a report? That happened again just a few minutes ago, did it? All right, we think Fish Poker is a bot. / just someone looking for attention. Yeah, probably. Scrolled up, hasn't really contributed anything in chat other than talking about, what do we say? I don't know. I'll let you deal with it. I can't be bothered searching through people's chat histories. But, well, I mean, Fishy, I don't know what Fishy's Poker was talking about before. All I heard him say was the transphobia, so probably just someone trying to make some edgy jokes, but I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the context is, so what else? It's fine, Logic Soldier. Yeah, it's fine. No, but anyway, so what about, I don't know if my chat's, maybe it's because my chat's broken on this computer. I don't know, dude. But this the Powerade Floyd, I don't know if that's spam has just been happening consistently all day, or it's the same spam from earlier today, and every time I scroll up, it just goes back to the same point in my chat. So I'm going to actually reopen my chat on my second computer and get that fixed. Bam, 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 bam. Pace yourself says, I gotta sleep, but can you please upload these to YouTube? Always. Every cast I do gets on YouTube. It might not get up for a day or two, or a week or two. But yeah. All right, let me close that chat and reopen it. You didn't see him spamming Logic Soldier? Okay, I think it was just the one spam earlier, because he's a sub, which is why I'm like double checking. So I think it's just my chat being busted. I'm like, has this guy seriously just been spamming and getting just timed out and having his messages cleared all day and no one's banned him? I'm like, just because he's a sub doesn't mean he's allowed to just keep spamming. But I think it was just a one-off, as far as I can tell. And my chat was just broken. So there we go, we reopened it. We reopened it. There we go. What's up, what's up, what's up? All right, let's go, guys. All right, map number 4 here. It is the grand finals of Homestory Cup being cast off the replays. Of course, guys, massive thanks to Take for releasing these replays, to Homestory Cup for running such amazing events. They are the sickest event. Our scene would not be nearly as cool as it is without it. That's, I believe, what Jeff said on the Highland show yesterday, and I'm like, could not agree more. It really makes the scene special to have all of like the top personalities at an event just talking shit and having fun, and the pro players as well showing their personality and kind of us getting to know all of them. But this was the grand finals. This was where it was serious business. Well, for the players anyway. Money on the line, as well as a lot of other things. soO is up here. Just dropped a first map. So remember, soO started the series with a 1-0 lead. And is now going to be opening up with a fast gas pool. Down here in the bottom right, he has brought it back that game with a very nice tank push. Really methodical and a huge spread. I love the spread on his siege tank. It was the patience with that push which really ended up winning him that game. He is O Gaming's innovation. Awesome to see O Gaming sponsor him up. Yeah. I failed the Google preview and not a robot check. That square didn't have a street sign, damn it. Dude, OzProtos, I failed that 6 times in a row the other day. And that's why I don't have an uptimer anymore, because I can't get my bot to work. I literally can't get my Twitch OAuth token, because every time I try to get it, it's like, click on the roads. And there's always like a little bit of a road in the edge of a square, and I'm like, do I click it? Don't I? And then I mind game myself. But I literally went through like 6 times and it just kept failing. Even when it didn't say I failed, it just wouldn't log me in. And I was like, oh, so I don't know if it was just bugged. Maybe I needed to like turn off my ad block or something, but it was triggering me, dude. It was triggering me. I was so mad. So it's just going to be 2 Zerglings running across to start. Oh god, this is the, oh my god, this is the Korean ladder special. Guys, if you are a 5.2k MMR player on the Korean ladder, this is your build. This is your build. I play against this every day. Oh my god, so the Reaper gets there, goes, oh shit, it's been a pull first. I need to go home and defend my command center because there's lings that are about to cancel me SCV. So he's got to quickly pull off the SCV, pulls it, he's going to run that to the middle of the map. All these lings have to do is occupy that Reaper for long enough for the Ravagers to get part of the way across the map. Now, it's just about the surprise. It's about throwing off the build. Oh! soO almost gets the SCV. Good micro from Inno. Inno is going a 2-on-1, which is fantastic if it's to light pressure, but if soO's got ling speed, soO's going to go all in. This is almost the only way you stop this is if you get a very quick, if you get bunkers up as innovation. He should be able to, but oh my god, he's even going to lose these Marines, is he? Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so bad for innovation. Okay, he cleans it up, but he loses an SCV. The Reaper comes in. I don't know if he realized. Okay, now he should realize. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Immediately build bunkers, abandon the low ground. Yeah, good man. Okay, he can defend. He can defend. Potentially. He's building Marauders. He's building Marines. You're going to need depots up here. So he needs another depot and another bunker, and he just needs to consistently build units. He's going to go for a fast siege tank as well. So let's see. Does he go for a supply drop? I don't think he should. I think he should go for another mule because these depots are probably going to get sniped. Where's that Reaper? It's gone back into the main. Oh my god, he's being a cheeky dickhead with it. He's just picked off a drone. He's going to try and get another one. Innovation using those sick mechanics. He doesn't have a second bunker though. And that worries me. He's going to get one more drone. Oh, that's sexy. Reaper does end up falling to those lings. Command Center's got a lift. He's building a depot there. As I said, he needs extra depots. Siege tank's almost out. I guess he should be fine. I think innovation holds this. Because 2-on-1, you just have a lot of production. You can build a lot of units, and he very quickly adapted. So I thought this would be a faster version from soO with more Ravagers. But he actually went for the Ling speed. He didn't cancel that upgrade. So interesting to see this. Ooh, that Corrosive Bile hurt. But a lot of the Roaches and Ravagers go down to that Siege Tank shot as well. The Overlord's also very low, so it's dangerous for that to spot the high ground. Oh no, that's a lot of Zerglings though. Oh, he was being a cheeky dickhead. He wanted to bait you down. Lots of Marines are going to fall there. So that's a nice little trade for soO. He started droning, so he is trying to transition out of this. This Ravager, ooh, I wonder if it stood right there, if it would be inside the Siege Tank's range. He might have actually been able to move the Ravager there and shoot it down. I'm not 100% sure, but because the Ravager is such a fat unit, it might stick too far out. But we've got a starport on the way now. We've got a bunker on the high ground. Innovation's in a pretty sick spot. Even losing those units is not too bad, just because it's like, well, what does soO have? One queen? Yeah, third hatch is starting. But, 29 drones versus 31 SCVs. Double mules dropping. We've got a factory and a starport up. Stim's done. Combat shield's done. I mean, yeah, the double drop's going to be hitting at like 645 or something. But it's going to have combat shield Marines. And there's going to be like equal workers on both sides or something. Like soO's frantically trying to get ahead in workers. Because you need to get ahead in workers so you can swap into unit production. But right now he's like barely keeping up in the worker count. And that's terrible against a Terran player. That's so bad. Third barracks is down. We've got an double engineering bay. Ooh. soO's going to need to play godlike to get back in this game, guys. Of course, if Inno doesn't wall off and a Ling Run By gets in, that could turn things around. We'll have to see. Ninja and Nikes, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, so we are casting the Homestory Cup games. We're casting the Grand Finals right now. Very fun one. Take your pants off and prove you're human. I think there's an easier way, dude. I think there's an easier way. I also don't think taking your pants off proves you're human. What, like only humans have anatomy, or only humans can poo? Because neither of those is true. Those is true, man. Robots can have dongles. They can have 4G dongles. Hell, 5G dongles soon. Yeah, robots can probably make excrement as well. There's like waste disposal robots. I don't see how taking your pants off proves you're human. Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys make no sense. Twitch chat. Fucking Twitch chat logic. So here comes the moment of truth, guys. It's the moment where Inno says, I'm just here to clean up creep. I don't even really want to do that much damage. I've only got like 13 Marines here, 12 Marines. And he goes, oh, there's no creep to clear up. A slight smile starts to creep up the corner of Innovation's mouth, turning upwards slightly. He's like, I don't know what this is. Why is this happening to my mouth? It's called being happy, Innovation. It's what happens when you're way ahead after holding a Zerg's shitty all-in. Innovation's feeling pretty good right now. If he can win this game, he'll tie it up. So what is this? 2 siege tanks? And a third one. Oh, the Lings. If they get the tank, that's going to be sexy. And that indeed is about as sexy as it gets for a Zerg player, except when the tank survives on 2 hit points. You're friggin' kidding me. 3 hit point siege tank? Oh my god. soO's got to be so sad about that one. He needs something. And it doesn't matter. It's game over. GG. Great hold by Innovation. I love how calm he was with the timing of it. And I was like, second bunker, depot, second bunker. And he was like, no. Build Marauders. 1 bunker. Pull my SCVs up. drop my mules, get my siege tank, and then he went the depot and the extra, you know, the depot and whatnot. And I was like, and he didn't even bother with the bunker. I was like, oh, you actually have good understanding of how this game operates, don't you, Innovation? So he ties it up 2-2, and he's looking good. It was a very fast, surprising all-in from soO. I imagine it works a lot better versus a Hellion opening. Against the 2-1-1, obviously not what you're looking for there. Let me get that scoreboard set up, guys. Tied up now, 2 wins apiece. It is a best of 7, first to 4 will win. In the top left, he's O Gaming's Innovation. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, in the red, the Zerg player, it is soO. Agi, what's up, my friend? Thanks for hanging out and learning some Magic Arena yesterday. I will probably be playing I'm probably just going to be casting till the end of my stream today. I've got a lot of amazing replays to cast, so probably no Magic today, but come back next week. We'll definitely be having at least 1 Magic stream a week, kind of, you know, towards the latter half of the stream. 2 as well if I'm really feeling it. Maybe 3, maybe more if I get hooked, and I'm already having a lot of fun with it, so I very well may. Plays the loading screen. Oh yeah. So I actually just fixed that up yesterday. Someone requested that, Randy Bob Andy. They were like, hey, why don't you just put your game screen inside the TV? And I was like, oh yeah, why not? Like the alerts can still play on top of that, but this way at least it's got something in the TV. Looks kind of funky. I like it. Yu-Gi-Oh beats Magic. Don't at me. You're fucking cutie pie. Fucking. I'm feeding him, Logic Soldier. I'm sorry, I'm feeding him. Little cutie attention seeker. Mr. trying to bait people. I'm the easiest mark, man. That was Innovation's cam review, by the way. I'm the easiest mark. Like I always get halfway through reading dumb comments in Twitch chat and I'm like, no, I rewarded it. To be fair though, that one is pretty good-hearted. It's pretty good-natured. I'm fine. We don't mind a little bit of light trolling. It's just basically, I think the rule, which I haven't really had to instate much, just because the culture has kind of become reinforcing in the Twitch chat, was we don't mind like joking around and trolling, being a bit sarcastic, but like there's 2 things. One is if you literally you just pop in chat and try to say inflammatory things or, you know, anything like that, it's like But the main one is like, I think the explanation I would give is basically if you imagine the Twitch chat as like the room in an elevator, and we're all kind of just hanging out, doing our thing, and this one guy's like, look at me, and then he just drops his trousers and starts taking his shit in the corner of the elevator. And that's the sort of trolling we're not down with. If someone's there and they start making maybe a cheeky fart noise, like we don't have a high standard for humor. We make some dumb jokes, right? We all make some dumb jokes. We all get drunk once in a while and say some dumb shit in Twitch chat as well. But it's just when someone like starts spamming or starts like they make a bad joke and it's followed by another like pointless dumb joke by another one, to the point where they're just like, look at me, give me attention. And that's where we like a lot of the time we let people get away with saying a few offensive or stupid things in chat. Like we don't care, right? But it's at the point where they're like, wait, no one's responding to me. I need to like start spamming out these dumb things like that, like, and they're not even having a discussion with someone. Whereas like generally speaking, if 2 people are having a bit of banter back and forth, there's 2 people in chat who are both talking silly, it's very clear kind of they're both just having a laugh. And, you know, it's actually talking to someone who's actually reacting to them rather than one person just standing in an echo chamber being like, I made the joke about the thing. Chomp. Like, you know, and I'm like, basically, when people act like that, I identify that they're the people who hang out in the general chat in-game, in client. And I go, oh, you're a general chat person. You've got like 17 copy pastas about Trump on your clipboard. You fucking tab out. You've got them all open in fucking Notepad or some shit. You're like, ooh, I think this guy's gonna get triggered by this Trump copy pasta. You like spend hours of your day in general chat in StarCraft, and I'm like, no, we don't want you here. So that they're the people we try to phase out. It's pretty easy to not get pushed out or modded or anything in the chat. So yeah, it's good shit. It's good shit. What's happening? 2-on-1, guys. 2-on-1's back in a big way. Now, you know what I want to see more of? And I think it's really dumb that people aren't doing it, but maybe it's just me. Maybe Innovation is so good he could defend it, but what about the old Bane bust? You guys remember the build where you just Bane bust the front? Oh, this is why. Innovation thinks he's being all in. I was just about to say, why don't people do the build where you make a bunch of Banelings and about 450, about 5 minutes, you crash Banelings in, knock down the depots, you run this, the Medivacs stem in, and you've got just enough Lingbane Queen at home to defend, and you both savage the Terran's economy while defending, and you just basically win the game. This was the original hard counter sniping build versus 2-1-1 that was invented in Pro League, executed by, I believe, Bial the first time, if I remember correctly. And it got so many wins versus 2-1-1 for like a week or two, and 2-1-1 got basically the first player we saw adjust to it was Maru. It was in a game on King Sejong Station where he pulled his Marines back from his wall so they couldn't be seen, and he boosted both of his Medivacs out past an Overlord. And the Zerg went, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. It's time. The Medivacs have left, rolled the Banelings in, and there was a pre-spread of 20 Marines. And the Zerg was like, what the fuck? Those are meant to be in the Medivacs. And these empty Medivacs had baited the attack in. And everyone was like, Maru, you make me so excited right now. Like, it was just, and that was the mind games in Pro League, because people knew everybody had these crazy prepared all-in builds. There was so many just dirty builds. It was one of the coolest moments, which I really remember from 2016, back when everyone was first doing 2-1-1. And it was really cool. It was really cool. So we saw innovation there saying, look, I've been doing 2-1-1 a lot. soO is going to start all-inning me. And he did like rather than fake him out with the Medivacs, he just said, let's check for the Lingbane hiding off to the side somewhere. And he really scouted with it. But this has given soO a lot of room to breathe. soO actually wasn't all-inning. He was just macroing. And check it out. He's got 62 drones. He's got creep spread. So in this particular scenario, you know, innovation here has tried to play a little bit safer. And I think it's hurt him. I think there's enough Roach Ravager to hang on here. 16 Roaches and 3 Ravagers. I mean, that's a lot of Medivacs. And he's sending 2 fake ones to the main. Oh, look at that. He's trying to pull the army. He wants the army to split. And he's getting it. The army's splitting into the main. Oh, God. Okay, the 4th gets cancelled. But soO, he's leaving. He wants to leave a lot of Roach Ravager. I think he's realizing how big this army is, though. He's like, I can't fucking defend that. Oh my God, but innovation's already on top of him. The plays, the fake Medivacs coming out here. Is it going to be enough, though? soO has good numbers. He got back down here. And remember, there's only 2 Medivacs here. So it's a good hold. A very tricky play by innovation. But soO holds on with flying colors. Remember, that was 1-1 for Terran, only 0-0 for Zerg, but the 1-1 upgrades are about to finish, and this time we see a much faster Baneling transition. Now, if you want to play the way soO did on Redshift, I can get behind this style a lot more. Why? Because he's only going to get 1 ranged upgrade. He's going to swap into melee. He's going to swap into Zergling production a lot earlier. We're not going to see any more Roach production, and this is better because he's not over-committing to those Roaches and Ravages. We saw he did that last time. Didn't have anything to deal with the siege tanks. Too much of his supply was caught up in these low damage, chunky, slow units, the Roaches and Ravagers. They're not a good unit in those big battles. This time he's swapping it up way quicker. He's got the infestation down. That 4th base is well on the way. But, you know, innovation's not down and out. He's got the fast 2-2. He's got his own 3rd fully saturated now. And the cancel on the 4th. And then the way he forced a lot of micro out with the push-in, it delayed the 4th being put down again for a long time. And that actually has had a big effect here. So soO's not able to just get these gases up. He's not able to get up another mineral line, which he would love so much right now, because he's got a lot of control. Instead, he's just going to have to capitalize on it through creep spread. Now, this is something where his creep count is not, his queen count is not great. So I think he really should build 1 more queen, because he just doesn't have that many active tumors. Like, he's spreading through the middle, and he just doesn't even have a tumor here. Does have a tumor there. He's got a few tumors there, though. Got 2 tumors there. So all things considered, great control over the mid-game once again by soO. I mentioned it earlier. soO fucking loves to do this. I don't know why he just corrosive biled the ground, but he did. Very fast 4th command center on the way. So it was 5 barracks into a 2nd factory. Wants to go double tank production. He's got the vehicle armor, vehicle and ship armor going down again. Marines just scouting around, trying to get some idea of what soO wants to do. And, yeah, he's going to scan and see, okay, you've just saturated your 4th. It is fully saturated on minerals. That tells him, yep, soO's not all-inning right now. soO has actually droned up to 75 or 80 workers. And there is indeed a hive and a spire on the way. I actually like this spire positioning Only can this get attacked if a frontal push gets right in between your bases, at which point you're probably dead. But it's very safe from drops coming in from there, drops coming in from here. So it's actually like this really hard position to get to. So this is in a way the safest spot. It's also a spot which is unlikely to get scanned. Uh-oh, Tunneling Claw Roaches get caught. A great scan, and I think they all go down to this scan. Yep, every single one goes down. To be fair, soO doesn't really want these units anyway. Tunneling Claws, I think, was an investment more to try and just find a way to get some value out of them. You know, sneak them into a mineral line. If it works out, it's great. If they just die to enemy units, at least they're killing them and worrying about them and building missile turrets everywhere, rather than you just turning your own units and killing your own roaches, which is something you actually want to do in late game because they're just a waste of supply. Talking about my man. Jen Swift, welcome back to the Pigsty. 4 months and running. Says I was trying to come up with a good pun about sediment, but I couldn't settle on one. My man, with the terrible dad jokes. Fuck it, surround. Jesus, the tanks aren't sieged. He's deep on creep. There's not many Marines in here. There's a ton of Marauders, but there's not that much firepower. It's Marines that gun down Ling Bane. He's got a great anti-Roach Ravager army, though, and it turns out the numbers are just enough. A lot of these Roaches didn't join in that fight either. Oh, if they came in, that might have changed things. He's going to get a snipe on this tank on the back. That tank does go down, and Ravager's trying to defend, but Jesus, Innovation just beastly with his big 2-2 army. +2 melee wasn't done, so he was ahead in an upgrade. Does a lot of damage, but uh-oh, some of his units are actually trickling in. soO's going to start to chase that down, but Inno says, hey, you got to chase these guys, buddy. You can't chase my other dudes back. Those units even turn around. Innovation is definitely a man with big coconuts, big kahunas. He's got the bravery, and oh god, those Zerglings are just going to die. Oh, soO just keeps getting caught with just not quite enough units. And because he never had the Corruptors or Anti-Air in this fight, or Hydras, the Medivacs are just laughing at him. Oh, it's so frustrating for soO. soO's already lost 22 drones. Oh, that Liberator killed 15 workers. Okay, there was a Liberator down there the entire time. Pig's famous observing, infamous, I should say, once again coming to the fore as I miss a Liberator that has just done game-ending economic damage. Whilst this drippy-droppy Marine Marauder play, to be honest, already traded out so bloody well. 3-3 is done for Innovation. +2 melee isn't even finished for soO. Oh, man. Man. Feel like maybe soO, yeah, I mean, he's getting bowled over in these mid-game pushes. Innovation taking massive control. He's way too far ahead in supply now. He just needs to deny this base. He didn't even care about the creep spread this game as well. That's what was so impressive. He was so heavy on Marauders, he just didn't care. So I want to actually go do a barracks check. I think that's been one of the coolest adjustments, which I haven't mentioned this game. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Innovation did 2, maybe even 3 tech labs on his first 5 barracks. That's the either that or his 6th, 7th, 8th barracks were up much earlier than I realized. But I'm pretty sure one of what is normally an early reactor must have been a tech lab. Yeah. So if we go back in this game, GG, soO taps out. That's a 3-2 advantage. Innovation, 1 game from closing it out and looking so good, dude. So you're going to notice he goes 2-on-1 right now. Normally, you just need 1 tech lab with Terran. Get stim, get shields. You're only building Marines in the early game, and you only swap to the Marauders a bit later because the Marines are the firepower. That's the most important thing. Mapu missed it live? Oh, that sucks. It's easy to miss. There's a lot going on, man. So what's fascinating is he goes for only 2 more reactors rather than the normal 3 more here. So here comes the next 3 barracks. Normally you'd go reactor against Zerg. But he's actually going to squeeze a tech lab in. So it's reactor, tech lab. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, sorry. 2 reactors, 3 tech labs, actually, he went for. So he went full Terran versus Protoss style. And that's a very cool adjustment. And that's why his army could just stand on creep and say, haha, Banelings. Oh, Banelings? Yeah? Roaches? Ravagers? Oh, yeah, I've got something for you. It's called 2-2 Mass Marauder. And his army was too strong. So what kills that? Mass Zergling wrecks that. Like, if you've got mass +2 melee Ling Bane there, like, but very Ling heavy, you wrap around and Lings wreck that army. They wreck it. So GG's. Todd Peace, welcome to the Pigsty, my friend. I don't know why, but Todd Peace, that alias, has just made me think of Todd from Scrubs and his banana hammocks. And I feel like a Todd piece is just another name for a banana hammock. And I like it. I like it. I like your alias. It's a memorable one. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, buddy. Welcome to the pigsty. Roll around in the mud with the rest of us. And you said yes and cats. Is that actually what it's referencing? Todd piece? Or are you just like, yes, that's funny and amazing? Because that would be crazy if I picked up on that. When did I get a new seat? 4 years ago? 4 years ago? Something like that. My man. My man. Talking about my man. My man. Thank you very much for the support. Emo roll with the tier 1 sub. Much love. It's referencing cod pieces and going straight to Dr. Todd is such a great addition. My man. Oh, right. Like, because that's what a cod piece is, isn't it? That's why it went there in my brain. Ah, nothing like a good old cod piece, man. When did I get a new seat? Talking about the finger? That's part of the seat? I'm so dumb, dude. I'm like 6 hours into my stream. Prometheus is making a funny joke. It's like flying over my head. I'm like a fucking, I don't know, I'm JFK airport or something. I'm a very fucking busy airport. There's a lot of jokes going over my head. There's a lot of planes. There's a lot of air traffic. And I am a drunk air traffic controller / person who understands humor. So, cheers. Zero Max, this is the Game Heart overlay. This is the Game Heart overlay. So basically, you just can download this, or you can go into your menu. You can go into your menu and do it. So if you guys want to check, you can go Observer and Replay, and there's different interfaces. You have to download Game Heart, but you can use WCS 3.0, which is pretty sick. That's a pretty sick one. But yeah, if you just Google it, you can find it for sure. Thank you so much, King of the Sheeps, for the 16-bit cheer, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Classic versus Raynor cast would be killer. If only I could get those replays, Styrofoam. Someone in chat, I don't know if it's true, said Winter actually asked GSL, was like, hey, I'd love to cast the replays. Obviously, you know, this is your content. Is there some business arrangement we can make up? Now, I don't know if this is true or if this is a story someone made up in chat. But apparently the price was like $10,000 just to get the replays for GSL. I don't even know if that's like one day or one group or one season or what, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's their content. It's not on them to just give that out, right? You know, people should be going to their YouTube channel and watching it there, right? So I get it. I would love to have access to that. Well, I mean, they're not high. It's one of those things where it's like, it just makes sense, right? It's your content. You guys put on a great tournament. You've got it on your YouTube channel. You don't want other people casting it. Now, we could do analytical content where we show little snippets in between us analyzing, but we can't use the audio. We can't show too much of it. We have to keep it within fair use, which is obviously a little flexible, but I'm not comfortable showing more than basically a minute, maybe a minute and a half at the time. And even then it would be skipping through the VOD and just highlighting specific things, going back to my camera or other footage that I actually do have the rights to. It's too hard to do. It's too hard to do. Anyway, guys, nice little break there. Oh, one last, what am I drinking? Just vodka. Yeah, it's just vodka, dude. Welcome to the bar, dude. I'm sitting in the bar. I know I'm not in Joey Ray's bar, but I'm in the cantina, but I brought my glass. I stole it from Joey Ray's. I'm drinking some vodka. We're casting some StarCraft. We're having some fun. Angry Healer. Last question before we resume. Actually, let's just go. We'll answer it while we go. All right, guys. It is the final game of soO vs Innovation. Wait, actually, no. There's probably 2 more games. It's potentially the last game of soO vs Innovation. Here, Innovation. Representing O Gaming down here in the bottom right. Only needs 1 more game to win the series, and he's already sending out a cheeky boy. Cheeky drilly boy. Upper in the top left-hand side in the red, the Zerg player who started up with a 1-0 lead because he had such a good run. Getting to this point. His name is soO. I think there's a bird attacking my fly screen. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Give me literally 10 seconds. some really friggin' weird noises that have been appearing in my house lately. I don't know if I'm like paranoid or something. I keep thinking there's people in my house. That one I was like, well, I did leave my back door open and let some air through. And I could hear something like banging against it. And I went out there and there's nothing there. And I'm like, what's happening? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Back into the game. soO versus Innovation. And this is a filthy proxy barracks. But is he going to... He's going to... Oh, you know, it's a two barrack? Oh. I mean, the Overlord scout... He's scouting with both Overlords. He's playing so safe. He's gone for a hatch first. He's got to scout it, though. Oh. You got to scout it, soO. I think... Oh, he changed his direction. Oh, big brain. Big brain Perverlord. Yes. All right. soO's going to spot it. And you know what? Innovation, SCVs, barracks do not have as much vision as Overlords. Overlords are one of the longest sight range units in the game, guys. So he has no idea that's being spotted. And, oh god, he's going to pull drones. No, that's crazy. That doesn't make sense. You should not pull drones this early. I guess he can get some damage on the SCVs, but the thing is, these barracks are already done. There's no way he stops these barracks getting up. There's absolutely no way. Yeah, there's no way. I mean, Innovation, a little bit slow to juggle with his SCVs there. If that gets delayed, I mean, he should have only lost one SCV there. That was a screw up. Ah, he's going to try and intercept the Marines as they pop out, but oh, soO with the 6 around. Okay. All right, soO's just a confident lad. I think he's got to pull out now, though. So, yeah, was it worth it losing that much mining time? I think maybe it's okay. He's going gasless here. Okay, so he's not going gas. I'd love to see a spine crawler go down immediately. He's going to use the low hit point drone to put down that spine crawler. He's only building drones right now. What? He just knew? What? He knew he was going to cancel it when it got spotted? Holy shit. The fucking meta of pro gamers. The fucking pro gamer meta. He's like, nah, it's been spotted. But he saw the Marine walk away? Had he seen the first Marine at the point where, I guess, yeah, he was just waiting. He was just waiting to build Zerglings, and then he saw it. That's why he wasn't building straight away when the pool finished. And as soon as he saw the Marine walk that way, he was like, nah, you're not going to continue. You're absolutely right. I still would always build at least a few Zerglings, but soO's like, no, I'm just going to take a third hatchery off 0 fighting units. What a madman. That's sick. That's sick. Innovation, of course, took a gas behind it, took a command center. He's got a factory down, and he's going to go for a third CC. So he's going to play a very economic follow-up to make up for this awkward opening. The Reaper has a little bit of control over what's going on. soO now starts the double gas. This is a very nice start for soO. Really well done. Of course, those 2 barracks not doing anything while they float all the way home. But yeah, I've just never seen anyone not build a single Zergling. I guess the reason there, because normally the way I look at it, right, guys, is this, and it's always fun to go through these theory situations, right? It's, you know, I'm sure there's one guy in chat who's like, Pig's an idiot. He's dumb and didn't understand what was going on. I'm not gonna try and like fucking pretend I immediately knew what was happening there. Not at all. But what's always interesting is to go through these situations and think about it, because normally you would always see someone commit to at least 6lings, because you can even cut off Marines walking home. You can like do some pressure, make sure their walls up. You can absolutely make sure the barracks piss off. But because it got scouted, Inno immediately responded with a gas, knowing this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to get a Reaper, right? And the thing is, if you build 8, 10 Zerglings, even 6 Zerglings, and they have a Reaper, it's like, these Zerglings can't really do anything. You know, this is a waste. I'd much rather just drone really hard, because soO has a real, I think, understanding for just how flexible Terran players are getting with these 2 racks. He says, look, it was only 2 racks. It was never going to be the 3 or 4 barracks version. So it was always going to have a fast gas behind it, actually, now that I think about it. So, sorry, it wasn't reactive. You always have a fast gas. I do this same 2 racks build. You go for a 17 gas with this build. You go 16 racks, 17 gas normally. Something along those lines. There's slight adjustments here or there. So that's actually so funny. This comes back to me being a little bit sick this week and just kind of my brain not being screwed on correctly, that it's taken me so long to connect those dots since I played with this exact same 2 racks opening. I copied it from Maru, I wrote it down in my Book of Filth, and I've won a lot of games with it. And yet I still apparently took a while to figure out what was happening. So anyways, he knew that a Reaper, factories, all that stuff could come down. He says, I don't want to build a bunch of slowlings. I want to play as economically as possible. And that's why soO now has 60 drones versus 40 SCVs. He's in a massive lead. And if Innovation dives, it's one of the bravest and most dangerous maneuvers he could do. Is he actually... Oh, no. There's no fucking... You can't do that. Yeah. Like, you just cannot. It's a one-way trip if he goes up that ramp. So there we go. Tries to force more lings. Does force more lings. Unfortunately for Innovation, there's already 65 drones out. So this series has had a lot of... Not the most exciting matches, I gotta say. I feel like as far as finals go, and as far as such a close scoreline goes, the matches have been a little bit controlling. Like, one side has been very quick to assert control, usually soO. But, I mean, I guess Acid Plant was pretty fucking impressive by, that was actually really cool, wasn't it? But it's just kind of crazy to see, like, this game where it's like, okay, well, yeah, soO's response was so smooth. He's going to have a Spire up, like, the third command center is going down, but where's the infrastructure? Look at this. Okay, upgrades are somehow not far behind soO's, but he's only just now getting up to 5 barracks. He's only just now getting out his first few medevacs and marines that are going to start clearing up creep. His third's just starting to land. And when the Zerg already has Baneling speed and Mutas out, when your first pressure gets to creep, you are down shit creek without a paddle. Your hands are going to get dirty if you want any chance of winning this game. Innovation's one of the few players who could do it. We saw him play an incredible defensive game in Map 1 on Darkness Sanctuary. Didn't work out. He ended up losing, but I think with some adjustments, maybe. And that's the sort of game you've got to be thinking about as Innovation here. It's not, oh, I'm going to do one big sharp 2-2 timing attack with a lot of Marines and Marauders and kill you. Like, there's just no way that's going to work. I also wouldn't mind him going a little bit more Marauder heavy as the game progresses. I mean, that's kind of his style in general, but yeah, 4th CC on the way. I like that. I like that. And he's just going to try to find anything with this, but this is just it, man. 8 Mutas are already down. Where are they? Those Mutas are flying out right now, surely. Into the main. That's where they are. Says, you know what's better than killing 16 Marines and a few medevacs? Massacring your worker line. 6 SCVs dead. Make that 7. Mutas fly down to the 3rd. Turret's not ready. And that's devastating. Had to have a flawless defense for the next few minutes to get back in this game. Isn't able to do it. The Mutas running circles around Captain Innovation. And, Captain, Major, Colonel, doesn't matter what your rank is. You're about to get decommissioned, my friend. You are going to get taken out of the service. 4 CC is going to finish, but there's no way he can extend to there. Attack avenue there. Huge attack avenue in the middle when these rocks are taken down. And those depots are very fragile as well. Inno here with just 32 Marines and a siege tank up against 75 Zerglings, 10 Mutas and 25 Banelings. The Mutas continuing to find SCV kills everywhere they can. They're going to start picking away at the depots. The Marines come in, but the Mutas and the Ling Bane come in and say, yeah, sorry, dude. You're not trapping my Mutas. You got baited. Baited. I think I'll cast a Parting Series next, guys. So that ties it up 3-3. Last map. I am excited. I'm actually getting really hyped for this one. Getting super hyped. Because this is where it all comes down to 16-bit. Oh, shit, yes. We're going into 16-bit, guys. Up here in the top right. I think we're finally going to see a close game. I'm crossing my fingers for it. I wouldn't mind seeing some mech. We haven't seen any mech from Innovation in this tournament. In the blue, it's soO Gaming's Innovation. Down here in the bottom left-hand side in the red, this is soO. So this is a replay cast, Mr. Zinazul. We're casting it off a replay from Homestory Cup. Homestory Cup is a big tournament. They would definitely not be getting me to cast their games from home on my little stream. But it's a great tournament. It was on just last weekend. And yeah, it was some good times. Blunt says Parting was the most entertaining in Homestory Cup. I cannot wait to see some more of his games. I mean, Stefano as well, dude. Him and Stefano both. Like, the fucking... Oh, my God. Every time one of them won a game, and he's just like, oh... Like, laughing at each other and stuff, and they're staring at each other. Oh, my God. That was such a good series. It was honestly the highlight. I watched that over at my mate's house. So I'm trying to start with all the series I actually haven't cast. or haven't watched, because they're the ones that are obviously going to be very exciting to me. Straight to pool, no gas once again from soO. Interesting. Meanwhile, Command Center first from Innovation, straight into gas. One of the greediest builds you can do. For a second, I was like, is he going for a third Command Center? That makes no sense. There we go. Gas barracks. So he's still going to be going for fast tech. Some people go CC first into 3 barracks. You're going for lots of Marines, Marauders, but you're very immobile. In this case, yes, you're rushing your economy. Yes, your tech is delayed, but not by that much. You're going to have very few units. You're going to be straight up to Hellions, you know, Viking, maybe Medevac, Banshees, Libs, and kind of branch out from there in the normal Hellion-focused way. You see a very fast second gas comes down, and when that barracks finishes, you go orbital in the main, orbital in the natural, and then you start dropping those mules, and the Terran economy blooms. It blossoms. Notice both overlords are going to be very slow to scout as well. They checked for proxy barracks all around the Zerg base, made sure. Oh, he didn't check here. This is where you hide the barracks, apparently, guys. In this little triangle. If you play soO, that's where you proxy your barracks. You won't check there. Of course, pro players do usually rotate their scouting patterns around a little bit, so they can't just be counted as easily as that. But if you notice that is a reliable pattern, he does it a lot, then sometimes you will study your opponent and start countering them. The double orbitals finish. We're going to see those mules start to drop down here. Super mining, boys. And still no third base for soO this game. Now, this is interesting. soO's going straight up to 4 queens and now moving for the third. This is a Roach opening. He's been favoring a lot of Roach Ravager openings throughout this series, but I would say 100% I think this is a Roach Ravager opening. The reason for that is the third base is not needed as early. And if you can just get some creep out, get some queens, that's going to be a nice way to just kickstart your defense. And you just kind of drone up your initial 2 mineral lines as fast as possible because those roaches are quite expensive. And that's what he's doing. Going to double gas. I think he'll still start Ling Speed. And he could still play Ling Bane like he did on Darkness Sanctuary. But I'm feeling Roach Ravager for this one. I don't know why. Obviously, they don't have great attack avenues. It's easy to defend. I would personally not play Roach Ravager. But sometimes your Star Sense just tickles a little bit. Sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's right. But I always trust it. What was my MMR at its peak, says Agi. I don't know. MMR was not visible back when I played as a pro gamer. So the highest it's been since MMR was visible is like 6.25. I don't think I've been... Maybe 6.3 on NA with my Zerg at some point, but yeah, probably about there. I mean, I got past 6K multiple times with random as well, which I was pretty proud of, even though, you know, I was telling my race. I was telling my race pretty much every game as well at the time, so I was pretty proud of that. It's going to be an armory, guys. We're going to see Hellbats, but I don't know if I like it. This is not the fastest Hellbat timing. Wait, where's the roaches? He's going Lings. Okay, he's going Lings, and he's actually stopped at 5 queens. This could be the perfect kind of meta counter build. Yeah, he's going to drop 4 Hellions in the back. They're going to morph into Hellbats, but soO's on top of it. soO spotted it coming. He's going to morph Hellbats at the front and just run them in there into that mineral line. But he's got to find an angle, but soO's Overlords are so well positioned. If he gets Lings underneath it, the problem is they will kill the Hellions for the most part before they even unload. And that's really bad. Oh my god, the Zerglings aren't in position. Okay, yeah, he knows he's going to the main. There's already a queen there, though. These Hellions need to morph into Hellbats. They're doing it, but the Medevac's already taking a ton of damage. These Zerglings are going to get roasted, but that Medevac's going to fall in the meantime. At the same time, yes, the Medevac did die in the main, by the way, just a heads up, but the queen went down as well. These Hellbats get a queen, but good micro overall from soO. He's going to be able to clean it up. And these Hellbats not taking advantage of soO's units being down at the front. The Hellbats are trading out okay here, but they're not finding the worker damage that they would really want. And they're going to try to kill a few more units. I mean, they're still slowing down the droning. soO's actually started to drone in the midst of this, but he's having trouble cleaning it up. And part of it is because his queens took so long to get back up here. The lack of creep spread between the bases up here is a big part of how why his queens had to slowly waddle. I'd love to see a creep tumor here, and I think with this style, to not have a creep tumor connecting his bases was actually a big oversight from soO. That could have been a much cleaner hold and a good advantage if he'd done that. Raven's coming across, and oh yes, it's Mech Innovation! going mech here on 16-bit in the final game. I think this might have been the first time in this entire tournament that he actually went mech, and that's insane. Double auto turret at once, wow! Goes for the fast damage output. I think he realized that after he's shown the Raven, soO's going to be ready for the next wave, so he said, look, I'll just try to get as much damage output, catch soO by surprise, hopefully kill 6 drones. He only got 4, he almost got the next 2. And then just back off with the Raven and use it to clear creep on the front. So I think that's a good way to do that. He's going to have a long time before there's any real frontal pushes where he needs either shredder missiles or more auto turrets. And he's going to be going to the double Thor drop behind this. Second armory on the way. So he's about to start his 1-1 upgrades as well. Make that 2-1. He squeezed a fast +1 upgrade and I didn't even realize it. Holy shit, these upgrade timings. Man, when I watch players like Innovation play mech, I just feel bad about myself. I'm like, everything's like a minute faster than when I do it. Sometimes 2 minutes faster. He's just so good. He's so crisp with his timings. His macros on point. And look at it, 1-1's like just kind of beginning. We're going to see a lot of 2-1 versus 1-1 battles. Where if he can get the tank count up, that's going to be really nice. Thors are heading towards the back base now. They're going to try and drop in here somewhere. Spine and a Spore could potentially help against that. Is he going to drop to kill the Overlords, I wonder? I think it's worth. Hellions have been slowing down creep with the Raven. They've been doing a good job of this. Hydra's coming out in large numbers. Now, the scary thing about soO versus mech is he's not afraid to just stay on lair tech and mass roach Hydra. I keep talking about it earlier in this series, and we haven't really seen it come to fruition too much, but soO doesn't like to rush to the late game. A lot of players love to rush to the late game. soO does not care to do that. He loves to sit at 70, 75 workers, mass mid-game units, and then just take good fights, jump on your army. Yeah, Innovation's not really finding any angles. soO's defense is way too good right now. He's going to try to drop the Thors. Yeah, he swaps them into single fire mode so they can shoot down Overlords faster. Fourth base is building on location, though. He says, okay, all right, you're going to defend perfectly. I'm just going to keep expanding. It's fine. My macro is sick. Getting up a 4th and 5th factory now, so it's going to be 2 reactors, 3 tech labs. And I wonder if he's going to play the super factory Gumiho style, where he gets 3 more factories with tech labs, or if he's going to play it a little bit differently. Meanwhile, it looks like Hellion drops getting ready to rotate down here as the next wave of harassment. The Thors are just going to walk home, but this one pervert is being very useful for soO. Sees that rotation, and of course we'll know about it. Up here on the top left, by the way, Barracks spotting for drops. A Doom drop of Roach Hydra coming in on this base would be devastating. Innovation doesn't want to invest in mass turrets here, so instead he says, this will give me warning. It should give me enough time to get some units up there to defend. And here we go, double Hellbat drop, but Spore Crawler is in position. Is he going to be able to get any kills? Yeah, Blue Flame's not done yet. He's got to focus fire the drones, manages to get 3 of them, is going to get a 4th and a 5th drone, and just going to try and kill some Hydralisks, I think. Oh, no, he's trying to click on the drone still. Kill the queen. 6 drones, not bad. It's not great either. It's definitely not an efficient trade. 600 minerals for 300. But Innovation's got 80 SCVs. It slows down soO, it distracts soO, and soO is playing Swarm Hosts. Oh my god, he's playing Swarm Host Lingbane Hydra. This is one of my favorite styles. It is also one of the styles you need crazy finesse for, and it never struck me as being soO's style. soO is never a slow efficiency guy. Very rarely, he's a I'm gonna jump on you and fucking rip your face off guy. Like he's the guy who stomps on your corpse. He's the guy who chops off your fucking head and then poops down your throat. Like he's a fucking savage bastard. Whereas this is like a rogue style. This is like a very technical style. And I'm curious to see if soO has evolved as a player and all of these generalizations I'm saying about him just don't hold true anymore. And he's actually up at the next level. Sorry for the imagery, guys. I get a bit carried away sometimes. I get a bit excited. There's someone in chat who's like, ew, I'm eating dinner. No. Oh, Hellion counter. Those Hellions in the middle are doing such a good job of distracting, but he's so busy microing that. Oh, Swarmos are coming in, though. He's going to lose some tanks. Drones going down behind this. Oh, wow. soO taking big damage. But he gets a ton of siege tanks and Thors. Oh, my God. A great Locust wave. You know what? Losing 12 drones sucks, but as long as soO replaces that instantly, he'll be fine. He's not replacing that instantly. Okay, only 5 drones rebuilding. You've really got to keep your economy up with this style so that you can keep expanding to both sides and just kind of getting up more static and more bases. I think that only 5 drones being replaced. Ooh, and he's almost maxed. He's going to wait for another Locust wave and look for more damage. And I mean, soO's in a good position in my opinion, but he's not continuing his upgrades right now. And he does have a Hive on the way, but he doesn't have anything that's particularly good against mass Blue Flame squads like this anymore. So I think he needs to get out an Ultra or two or a few Roaches to deal with these Hellions. Vikings and Ravens are going to come forward. They're going to clear up some of these Locusts before they land. The Hellbats are the main thing that clears them. A 1 siege tank, 2 siege tanks go down. Not a bad little trade. I mean, it is essentially for free, but you want to be finding more than 2 siege tanks a wave, because it's like, yeah, that adds up over time, killing a few siege tanks per wave. But right now, yeah, look at that. The Hellions are answering with a few kills. You want to keep up the momentum. You don't want to just let innovation be permanently maxed and take a 5th and a 6th base. With the Swarm Host player, you want to choke them out, and you want to focus on your creep spread. And this is something which we see innovation with these Hellion squads. That's what he's achieving. Yeah, he's pushed the Swarm Host back, but where is the creep? The creep is what enables the Swarm Host to have flexibility. Right now, soO is so focused on the frontal assaults, and he's microing the Locust splendidly, by the way. Make sure, see how he's not just A-moving? Okay, he just A-moved that one. But previously, he wasn't just A-moving. He's still got 2 tanks, so not a terrible wave by any means. But he's not spreading the creep right now, and that's a problem. There we go. Finally, it starts respreading. Because as innovation takes this base and this base, it becomes very hard for the Swarm Hosts to branch out. There's this big area off creep. If your Swarm Hosts move out there, they die to Hellions. They can't get in range to snipe those planetaries. So he's got to make sure he deals with that. Of course, for now, there is a huge push coming through the middle. The scary thing for Inno is he doesn't have that many Hellbats with this army. There's only about 8 in there. If they disappear, then he's very vulnerable to Locusts. Swarm Host set up on the north side, ready to flank. The Baneling Morph is almost here. Watch out, Hellbats. Oh, the Hellbats all go down. He's going to dive in here. Is the Hydra Bane. He just jumps on it. He realizes these are tanks in the open. The Banelings don't get a good trade. And that is actually probably a better trade for innovation cost for cost, but he does lose a lot of his units, and this is a wise choice to back off. You do not want to lose all of your stuff. Now, realizing that he's pushed him back, soO's like, sweet, I can just send in another aggressive wave of Locusts rather than defensive, but he's out in the open, and he can't let them just A-move on those Hellbats. Oh, he didn't micro them. No, he didn't micro his... he's only going to get 1 or 2 Hellbats. Not a great wave there. He got about 4 Hellbats. It's something. But you would have much rather moved past, focus the planetary, kill the sensor towers, kill the gases, get the siege tanks, anything other than the Hellbats. You want to try and manually control-click those Locusts when they launch, click them past where you want to land, and then box them and tell them manually to use their swoop ability on the prime targets. Anywhere away from the Hellbats, anywhere on the juicy tanks or Thors. That's where you get the value. And these Hydra's going to get rid of that spotting barracks. That's very useful. Hellions going to come in. There's 3 spines, though, this time, so he shouldn't lose all of his drones, and he will be able to replace these. But right now, soO's economy is in the shitter. Oh, no, soO, you've got to... If you're going to play this long, drawn-out efficiency game, you've got to keep your economy up. And soO, only rebuilding 6 drones. He keeps not replacing his entire drone count, even though... Oh, man, he's actually very low on lava right now as well. These Locusts come in, though. That's the wave he was looking for. 3 siege tanks, 4 siege tanks go down. Juicy, juicy kills. Check out the units lost tab, guys. Way better for soO right now. And that's fine, but you've got to keep your economy up at least 66, preferably 70 drones, maybe even 80, until you secure some more expansions. His creep is still not spreading on this map, and I keep mentioning it because, like I said, it's what enables Swarm Hosts. Look at this. These Swarm Hosts going out here, but suddenly becomes very dangerous. It becomes very hard for them to rotate to the back. Liberator is sieging up that base. Liberator sieging up that base as well, being very frustrating for soO to deal with. And he gets up there, but he took so long to get here, and he ends up just having to waste his Locust Wave to kill 3 Hellbats. Not ideal, not what he wanted. And where are these libs? It's just these 2. The other ones did get cleaned up. Still down at 56 drones. Many of them not mining right now. soO still playing on a very low economy, but he's got a juicy, large army right now. If he can get the Hellbats with the Banelings, his Hydras and Locusts will destroy the siege tanks in one of the most brutal displays of Zerg dominance you have ever seen. But it all comes down to that. And you know what? He's even got Vipers and Corruptors now as well. The Corruptors chase off the Liberators. He can add Blinding Clouds to this mix. If those Hellbats disappear, innovation loses the army and will struggle to defend his bases from the counterattack. Banelings finding their Hellbats relatively early, but the Locusts weren't microed. The Locusts not microed, not flanking. They were almost all wasted on their Hellbats, and that is important because they didn't drag fire away from the Hydras. So even though it looks like he might have the numbers, he loses so many units in the process of taking this down. That was not the perfect engage. It was a rushed engage by soO. He went in there too fast. He didn't have to defend just then. He could have waited for innovation to push deeper. He could have kept expanding elsewhere, but even more drones die on the south, and guess what? Innovation has a 6th base up. Innovation is in such a good position in this game. This tank counterattack doesn't make a lot of sense. That was a bit of a waste. But let's see what he's swapping into. Multiple starports, +2 ship weapons. We've got tanks, libs, Hellions. I love the combination of Hellion counterattacks and Liberator harass. This is exactly what I was trying to add into my mech play to finish off Swarm Host players. Yeah, you get these big pushes down the middle, which create a lot of threat, force their whole army to engage you, and your Liberators, your Hellions, branch into their mineral lines, and behind it, you just mass expand. You take advantage of the low tempo of the Swarm Hosts, the fact that they can't attack very frequently, and you keep finding these angles, these avenues. We see soO's kind of caught on at this point, but I feel like the early lack of redroning has just been such a problem in this series, or in this game particularly. He's lost a few Swarm Hosts. He's adding a few more. He's adding another Viper. But I kind of feel like he could be, yeah, he's just got to get another 10 drones, and he's got to secure another base, preferably 2. The more bases you have, the less devastating it is if one of your bases goes down. And with an efficiency-based composition, which slowly gains efficiency over time, like Swarm Hosts, you shouldn't be attached to your mining bases. But what we see here is soO. I mean, he's not even mining from the bases that much, so it kind of doesn't matter just because he's losing all of his units so drastically. Let's see, micro onto the tanks. There's a juicy target right there and there, or he can land in the mineral line or on the planetary and let the siege tank friendly fire actually do a lot of damage. Kills a bunch of his own SCVs, almost loses the planetary. Not a bad wave. Vipers and Corruptors rotate to the north. soO is doing something so well here. He's clearly an expert with this style, but just playing a little bit lower economy and with a little bit, I think, of a less macro style than we'd see from Rogue. Someone like that, I think, is always a bit more flexible in these scenarios. The Advanced Ballistics is on the way, +3 Liberator attack upgrade. Hellions coming in on the south again, and that's going to bring it up to almost, yeah, he's about to break 100 kills, guys. There we go. The magic 100 worker kills up against how many SCVs have gone down, guys? How many? 0. Now, 6 SCVs actually did die, but it was to friendly fire from the siege tanks. But that kind of tells the story of this game to some extent. Yeah, the Swarm Hosts are being efficient by about 5,000, but he's giving Innovation so much room to expand that Innovation doesn't necessarily care. Of course, if soO can build up his bank, if he can maintain a 70 worker economy for a bit longer and build up some bank, then he can afford to lower his drone count. For now, what have we got? 20 Hydras, 16 Swarm Hosts, 2 Vipers, a ton of Banelings, and they find the army on siege. The Hellbats get shreked. But where are the Locusts? Where are the Vipers? That's been soO's problem. He's great at jumping on these armies. He's a Hydra Bane guy. He's a Roach Hydra guy. But he's just not so good at using it in tandem with the spellcasters, with the Locusts. And he's now going to come in, but he doesn't spread those Locusts out. He is going to break this push. Finally gets that good engage he was looking for. But once again, I'm going to be critical because I'm a massive fucking Swarm Host Viper nerd, and I fuck this up way more than he is today and yesterday when I was playing especially. But those Locusts, if they spread across multiple areas there, the friendly fire from the tanks would have been splashed. The tanking, allowing the Hydras to close without getting hit, would have also done a lot. But suddenly, for the first time in a long time, it feels, we see Innovation not permanently maxed, actually saying, shit, now I'm way down on the units lost, 8,000. And what's his answer? Mass Lib Viking getting rapid fire launches for Cyclones. Cyclones are really good if you can use them to snipe hatches, if you can use them to just catch out small sections of the Zerg in areas where they weren't expecting to fight you. But it really is about catching the Zerg kind of out of position. Okay, Locust Wave going to come in. I would love to see this just move past and swoop all at once on the planetary. Previously, we've seen him... Yeah. This time he's timing it out. There we go. That's what we're talking about. And that should... No. Building armor and instant repair. Innovation saves it. Ooh, that is a good defense by Innovation. Stops that Locust Wave in its track. Gains position on the north at the same time. The Swarm Hosts are going to rotate. You need to wait for those Swarm Hosts this time. 9 drones died in the midst of that. Another 9 workers did die on the side of Innovation as well, of course, trying to repair to the friendly fire. But with the Swarm Hosts ready to throw another wave in just 2 seconds, this is a good retreat. There's very few units here for Innovation. And it's kind of awkward, the composition he's in right now. I almost feel like he should have swapped into like pure mass Hellion or something, just temporarily. But oh god, the Ling Hydra crushed the Thors. Sloppy Baneling engage though. They did all roll into the Thors, but ooh, it goes down. Very nice Locust Wave. Guys, soO is looking healthy right now. soO is looking good. 7 Liberators, own 3 Vikings, a bunch of Hellions, and some Siege Tanks. That's all Inno's got, but Inno's continuing to secure new bases. And Mill proudly pointing out that it's not him lagging the game for once. Our Polish caster, always a legend, always being shouted at for lagging in years past. Hasn't actually really lagged in a long time, but we still like to blame him every time something goes wrong in a tournament. Lots of Corruptors out. They're going to do so well. Double parasitic bombs. A Locust coming in from the north. The Hydra count, though, the army on the ground is pretty low. Oh no, a few Swarm Hosts are going to suicide here, and the Locusts weren't microed again. I can totally forgive it that time because he was microing the air army and the Hydras. But definitely could have landed more of those Locusts on the Siege Tanks for a much better trade. He's going to pull back those drones. He's going to pull them back. Yep, good pullback. soO still on a very low drone count. He's finally taken a base here, but no base up there. There we go. It's pee time, mother trucker. The Corruptors have been drinking Mountain Dew all day at Homestory Carp, and they're like, yep, get pissed on, mate. Take out that planetary fortress. Very well done. This army's trapped. And the next Locust wave, if it's microed correctly, will crush it. There's only 10 Swarm Hosts left. He does see the tanks on siege, so a good engage here from soO. Beautiful Blinding Cloud. He can drop another one as well. Yeah, drops the second Blinding Cloud as the first one runs out. What a cleanup. Oh my god, but at the same time... Oh no, he sent the other base of drones here, and the Hellions found it. 32 kills. No! No, soO! You just took such a good fight, but now you've got no economy! Oh my god! I was talking about it all game long, how soO just hasn't had a large economy, and that is dangerous, because if that dies all at once when the game gets messy and you don't have a bank, this happens. Oh no! soO being so cost efficient for so long, but now engaging. They're Hellions, more than a match for these Hydras. All the Locusts are gone. Yeah, the Corruptors are taking down the Libs and Vikings, but the Siege Tanks in the back, and Innovation has just maintained too many expansions for too long. Yeah, he's 12,000 resources behind and the units lost, but soO just has done this because he's had a bigger army in every fight. He's had less workers, and Innovation's been dropping mules all game long. Whenever he's lost workers, he's only replaced a few of the ones that died, and that's going to cost soO here in the end, where he just runs dry. And losing a game where you're 12,000 resources more cost efficient is always a terrible scenario. Oh, that Hellion counter. Let's go back, and that's how Innovation closes out the game, the tournament. What an epic finish, by the way, there at the end. So I just want to show you guys that Hellion run by, because so he'd ran all the drones from this base over here, and I was talking about how he really needs to have like another base up here in case he loses one, because this base was just cut off, right? And he's pissing on the command center, and he crushes this army with this like perfect engage, and I was like, hells yeah. And even this Liberator, yeah, it killed some drones, but it gets cleaned up. Like, soO can bounce back from here. If he can just get 16 workers down here, 16 on here, you know, re-secure this base, which has been dying all game. And then these roasty boys come over. And these guys are like, oh, sweet, the Lib's dead. Back to mining. 35 drones on 4 or 5 mineral patches. Yeah, seems solid. Uh-huh! Uh-huh! And even more we're rallying down. Oh... 40 drones in the blink of an eye. Oh my god, that hurts. That, ow. 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 Oh, by the way, guys, end of the game. 156 workers killed for Innovation, 7 for soO. Now, soO, I'm going to take back what I said about soO not being a late game player. He played some splendid, efficient engagements. But yeah, I think I half take it back. He played better than I thought he could with Swarm Hosts, but it's still not his style, in my opinion. I think he'd be much better off with Roach Hydra Viper into a Broodlord timing, into like Mass Broodlord Corruptor Infester or something, and Viper's like... I just do not feel like he played the economy right, and I think he was way too slow with his creep spread. So how does the creep spread affect things? So I want to very quickly analyze this, right? So check this out, right? soO at the 11-minute mark had fantastic control over the game, right? Don't get me wrong, Inno has a big economy, and all this sort of stuff. And definitely he could have done a much better job of defending run bys and stuff. But he's got out this really efficient, nice composition, but it relies on the mobility of the creep. Now, watch the creep spread as we 8 times speed. Just watch the minimap. Just watch the minimap. And just look at the creep. And we can go, okay, another minute's gone by. We've spread it a tiny bit. Okay, 1 scan, clears up a whole bunch. The rest, it's not moving on any other front. Is he going to replace it in the middle? Okay, it's been 2 minutes. He's replaced 1 tumor in the middle, I think. He spread 1 tumor up here. He spread 2 tumors down there. Another minute later. Another minute later, he made 2 spreads there, another spread there. You can spread your creep about every 20 seconds, maybe even less than that. I don't actually even know the exact timing. I think maybe it's 14 seconds in the current time. Someone in chat can let us know. And it's just static. And the thing is, most of the time, it's not being cleared up. So how does that change things, guys? If this creep branched into this whole north side of the map, swarm hosts get there earlier. I was talking about that. Not just that, you stop getting surprised by all these Hellions and Libs because they kept coming in. If you've got creep down these paths, you've got so much more warning of these units, and it's easier for your guys to go down and hunt down those counterattacks. And that's something which just punished soO over and over. And because he was so slow to re-drone his workers every time as well, that's something I was very critical of throughout the game. And that just meant he never had the bank to bounce back from one bad fight or something. And the thing is, in the long term, right, you don't need to even take the corner bases. Like Innovation, with the way the cost efficiency was going, Innovation could have got both corner bases, which means 2 whole bases mined ahead of soO. As long as soO manages to mine the rest of his bases out, he will still win in the end game because he is just so much more cost efficient with the swarm hosts, the passion hosts, the efficiency hosts, but he wasn't quite able to do it. GG, well played. Innovation wins Homestory Cup. Absolute boss.